So, good morning, and you are welcome once again to the Masterclass on Energy Audit training. So I would say you are my first student I'm going to coach directly. Though I've done some couple of training. I've done for industries, I've trained staffs, I've trained corpers, but I've trained corpers in different states, and I've trained some other technicians that I've been privileged to work with in my previous place of work. But in terms of coaching directly, I think you are my first student I'm going to coach directly, and I hope to meet your expectation. I think I will have to go through what you send me, so I will always make sure I talk towards those areas of your expectation, because it may not be all of them that I wrote on my slide, but I'm going to make sure I cover all the areas that you want me to talk about. So first thing first, I want you to tell me about yourself, what you study, what you do. At least let me have an idea of the kind of student I'm working with.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Ephraim Ekonga.
Okay.
I'm a civil engineer. I work with National Inland Waterways Authority in Lokoja State. And I have a vision. Yes. I have a passion for renewable energy. I plan to go for my master's this year in Uniport on energy access and renewable energy. So I want to use this class to get an insight on how energy audit and other aspects that has to do with energy efficiency and energy management, so that by the time I start my master's program, I will find it difficult. I will be able to fit in no time. Then apart from that, I also want to go into business in access energy and renewable energy, providing lightning system for people, and also making cool money for myself. So that's just about me and motive towards this energy business.
Okay, and thanks for that introduction. And I believe that your expectation shall be met by the grace of God. So let's go deep down into the training proper. So we are looking at the first on our module is the basis of electricity or electric car, which I know you are aware of, you already know it, but just kind of like a recap of what, because we're going to be talking more of it, we're going to be using it in our calculation. So it's just kind of like a recap. Most of all our practicals, we may not do practical today, because I want us to cover all the theory. Then we start, I will send you a lot of practicals, which are going to do a lot of calculation. It may not necessarily be on Zoom. It can be on WhatsApp. Okay. Yeah, I can send you PDF file. I can send you on WhatsApp so that you can have, then I will explain how it works on the practical. Then what you also do, you also go out. Maybe you first of all start with your house. You take the energy audit of your house. You do the calculation. Then you start going to people's house and do the calculation. You see how it looks like. I'll give you some samples as well on how to report. So there are so many things. I may not cover everything here in my slide, but I'll make sure I work with the course outline. Yes, I'll make sure I work with it. With the course outline. I'll make sure I work with the course outline. But because energy audit has to do a lot with practicals than theory. Yes. So first thing first, we are looking at the basis of electricity. The definition of some certain terms. Voltage is the difference in electric potential energy of a unit charge transported between 2 points. It is measured in volts. That's the voltage. I believe you have an understanding of, let's say, the voltage that comes in from the PHCN, the one we use in Nigeria, I think 220 volts. So yes, 220. At times it's 230. At times it's 230, yes. But between 220 to 230, 220 to 230, yes. At times 240, yes. Depends. So this is yes. The difference in the electric potential energy of a unit charge transported between 2 points. Then we have current. Current is the flow of electric charges through the conductor. It is measured in amperes. Then resistance is the opposition to the passage of an electric current through a conductor. It is measured in ohms. Then power is the rate at doing work. It is measured in watts. Power is also known as, when you multiply the current and the voltage, you have power. Why energy is the capacity to do work. Energy is the duration. Is also like power, but it just has to do with time. So it is measured in watt hour. So when you say, okay, for example, I use the capacity of my television set is 20 watts, that's power. But for how long do you use it? I use it for 5 hours. So the energy required for that television is not 20 watts, it is 20 times 5. That's 100 watts. So when I'm doing calculation, it's okay, give me the estimate of the energy consumption of that television. It will be 20 watts. It will be 20 watts times 5 because I use it for 5 hours. Do you understand?
Very well, very well.
So sources of electricity, how do we get this electricity? We have 2 major types of electricity. Electricity are also known as energy. There are 2 major types of energy, which are the renewable energy and the non-renewable energy. Renewable energy are gotten from natural sources which can be replenished, but cannot be exhausted nor produce harmful substances when used. That's, we always have them available. They cannot go into extinction. It's just like the sun. There is no day that sun will not come. You will always have sun. You will always have wind in those places where there is wind. You will always have water. You will always have, there are some things that you will always have. Biomass. Biomass is energy gotten from plant and animal. And those ones, they cannot go into extinction. As long as there is life, there will always be life for plants and animal. Why non-renewable energy are gotten from natural sources which cannot be replenished, but can be exhausted with time and also produce harmful substance. Examples are the coal, the fossil fuel, the natural gas. Please excuse me, let me. Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, let me continue. So, non-renewable energy, they are natural sources as well, but with time they go into extinction. Like our petrol, our fuel. Like today we celebrate Nigeria. Oh, we produce oil, we produce crude oil. But with time, just give Nigeria next 50 years or 70 years. Nobody is going to celebrate Nigeria again for the crude oil because it will go into extinction. They are not reliable. Yes, they've been there for years, but it cannot be there forever. So, and not just that, they're using them, they produce harmful substances such as CO2, that's there's a gas we call them, the nitric oxide, the carbon dioxide, and I think there's one as methane gas.
Methane.
Yes,
Yes.
methane. So they produce these harmful substances, and which are not good to our health. And the continuous use of this fossil fuel, by the time, because they release this harmful substance every day from our vehicles, from our generator sets, from the way they are being produced as well. When those gases are released to the atmosphere, they kind of like affect the atmosphere and result into climate change. That's global warming. They result into global warming. And the effect of this global warming is where we see in terms of flooding, we experience food drought, we experience so many issues that is being invoked now because of climate change, because of what these non-renewable energies sources have caused. And though Africa, as it is, we don't really produce enough of these harmful substances. But most of them are being produced from the West. But we in Africa are the ones that suffer more from the effect of this climate change. That's why, like for last year, they did organize the COP26 event. I don't know if you're aware of that, the COP26.
No.
Were you aware?
No, I wasn't
okay,
aware.
The COP26 event where it's always this every, let's say every, is it 4 years interval? The last one was done in 2015 thereabout, or I think 2015 or 2019 thereabout. So there's a time slated for every country in the world. They gather together to talk about climate change due to the effect of non-renewable energy source. And these are the US is one of the country, America, is one of the country that the continent, and China is also part of them. They are the one that produce a lot of these harmful substances. But we in Africa are the ones that suffer more from the effect. Though they suffer as well from the effect of climate change, but we in Africa are the ones that are really, really partaking of the effects, because we have a lot of flooding here, a lot of food droughts in Africa. So that's why like last year, they did COP26. They gathered at Glasgow in UK, and all the leaders of the world were there, and they all made promises that when they get back to their country, they will try and reduce the rate at which they produce fuel. Everybody will start using renewable energy. So they are promoting renewable energy. So renewable energy is the big thing now, is what the world has moved to. Now we have electric vehicle, we have electric, so many things that involve renewable energy, that, we don't have to be relying on generator anymore. We have to use solar, we have to use wind. So that's how all these things came to be, because of the effect of climate change that had affected the world. And why we focus in Nigeria, because we have, if you look at the slide, we have solar energy, wind energy, biomass, geothermal, and hydropower. In Nigeria, we mostly use, we use the hydropower, like the dam is also like an hydropower, but it's not sufficient enough to power Nigeria, the full Nigeria, because there's still a lot of power outage. So we don't really focus on wind energy here, because wind energy is not every area like that has that wind. But wind is mostly, you can generate a lot of wind in the north. Some parts in the north, they have a lot of wind that you can use a wind turbine and it's going to work there, but not in the west like that. So that, and solar energy is something that it doesn't really need that much technology that way. Just to mount it on someone's roof and you already have electricity. So it's something that is environmentally friendly. You don't have any issue, unlike wind, because by the time you put a wind vane on top of your roof, maybe a bird fly and cross it, it can affect that light. Or maybe something, because it's a blade, and you don't just put a wind vane anyhow, it can injure someone. So we've come to understand that solar energy is easy to deploy, very fast, just to put the panel, connect everything to your house. You already have light as long as there's sun. The biomass, though they started biomass in Nigeria because it has to do with decay food waste, but they did it in Lagos as well, but it's kind of like it has a lot of technology behind it, and some people frown towards it because it's kind of like it's encouraging food waste. So we want our food to waste so we can use it for energy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's food that actually gets spoiled in the market. Maybe when market women take their food to the market and they cannot sell all and they're already getting spoiled. So you just just collect those waste from the market women and put it inside the biomass and convert it to energy. Or I remember in school, because I studied agriculture, I remember in school, some people came to us, some people that are into research came to our school and they were telling us about how some white men came into Nigeria to plant cassava. What do they want to do with the cassava? They want to convert the cassava to energy. And you ask yourself, we've not finished eating this cassava. This cassava is not even enough for the whole Nigeria. We want to convert cassava to energy. So a lot of people frown at the use of biomass because there is hunger in Nigeria. So you saying you want to convert the food that we produced to energy is somehow. So biomass is not really that scaly. It does not really. So that's why a lot of people focus on solar.
So
yes. Some people, I had a facilitator that went to Germany and studied biomass in his master. When he came back, he couldn't use it to do a business. He couldn't use it because people frown at it. Oh, I want to carry food waste. Do you know what? Instead of you to think of how you're going to preserve the food, you are thinking of how you're going to convert this food to energy. So the guy was like, he wished he knew when he went to Germany, he had studied solar instead of biomass. In other countries, biomass is good, not in Nigeria. Nobody, because we have poverty level here that people are hungry. So the guy said he regretted he had studied solar. Then geothermal is energy from rocks. So we've not really started using this. Then hydropower is in vogue. But hydropower, why we can't deploy hydro? Hydropower is majorly done in running waters, rivers. You can have that one. But you can't say, okay, you are living in the city and you want to construct hydropower in your compound. How will it work? So it can't work like that because you need a flowing water before the turbine can generate electricity. So that is why when they checked all these types of renewable energy, the one that is easy to deploy is solar energy. So the focus on renewable energy is on solar, especially in Nigeria and Africa. Do you understand now?
Very well.
Yeah. So you can stop and ask questions so that any question, just ask me then before I continue.
There's no question.
Okay.
Sorry. Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let me ask. These are dams now. Dams.
Yes.
Are they functional?
Yeah, they are functional, but it's not
in terms of generating power.
Yes, it generates power, but the issue is with the transmission. This transmission is not okay enough, so they lose a lot of power. By the time they generate power, the power they generate in the dam can be enough to serve, even if it is half of the population of Nigeria, it can. But in the terms of transmission, they lose a lot of power along the way. So by the time the power will get to each state, it has reduced. So it's not enough. And another issue that PACN is still having, even when they transmit this power, there are a lot of illegal connections that they can't make them to retrieve their money. So they are losing because a lot of people connected wrongly that PACN cannot track to collect their money. So they are not making money too. They are not making money. But the power from the dam is enough to give a lot of Nigeria light, but the transmission is too poor. So we generate power and we lose the power before it gets to the masses. Do you understand?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So the model 2, it talks about the electrical safety in the workplace. It talks about the importance of safety in dealing with electrical system. You can't measure it. It's very important. We need to, because it has to do with lives. And we have what we call the PPEs. The PPEs, that's the protection, our protection kits. Yeah, like the person you see in the picture. What is putting on, what we call them PPE, they are protective equipment, safety measures. So they are used to prevent or reduce the impact of accidents likely to occur. Dangers of electricity include electric shock, electrocution, burns, falls. At times, if you use your bare hand to touch electric, you understand now.
Very well.
So, and at times when you are doing some connection, you then know where ring, that you are married and you are putting on your ring, because that ring is a conductor. And our body is a conductor. Electric can pass through it. So the ring and your hand, they are going to react. So when you are doing some electrical installation, it is advisable to put off your ring. So anytime you are working, it is mandatory to put on your PPEs. So, and again, why we need to still, I think I will explain it in the next part, but people are likely to have accident as a result of attitude. Upon all you tell them, put on your PPEs, we have a lot of technicians and engineers that will tell you, why should I put on my PPE, my helmet? Why should I wear safety boots? Why should I wear the coverall? Why should I wear, I've been doing this work for 10 years. I don't need it. That's attitude. Some is ignorance. They don't know they are supposed to put it on. Some is lack of supervision or enforcement. You need to force them to put it on. Because there are times that maybe you're on the roof, or you are down. Maybe you are installing a house. Your technician or the installer is on the roof trying to install. Mistakenly, the hammer or wherever he's using fell from his hand, and you that is down, you're not with helmet. He hits directly to the person down. Or maybe the person didn't put on his safety boots, and they are doing some kind of like connection. He's stepping on one. He didn't know. He can receive electric shock. So these are very, 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 very important. Like the art, it protects the head against falling objects. Very necessary. At times, we can put it on and nothing will happen. We say, but nothing happened now, and we are just wearing it for wearing sake. Yes, put it on. Not because the day it will happen. It's just like when they say, oh, we are expecting Jesus to come. Jesus has not come. But when Jesus finally comes, it's just like that. So to be on the safe side, put it on. And it's also, it's our code of conduct. It is, as an engineer, you are meant to put it on. It shows your identity. And there's this kind of like pride. You have that pride when you're on site and you're with your helmet. That that ego that puts in you that, yes, I'm an engineer, I'm set. I'm not like every other person on this side. I'm an engineer. So that's because our code is a code of conduct for engineers. So you are supposed to put it on. Then the goggles, it protects the eyes from fleas and sparks. That's the work of the goggles. So it's important to put that on. The hand gloves to protect the hands from. So this meeting is going to log us out, but I'm going to connect back. Do you understand? Because it's 45 minutes, the Zoom. So once it logs us out, I will connect again. Yes.
Okay, I think you should move to the next slide. I'm okay with this safety.
Okay.
So that will save time.
Okay. Then this body harness, the fire extinguisher, the air mask and first aid box. Then the accident reporting. It is important to keep details of accidents. It's normal. And they include dates of accidents, the time, what happened, so that to prevent future occurrence, something like that don't reoccur itself again. So that's why it's important to do that. So it's just it's something one can draft, like one of the documents you need to have when you are working as an engineer. But you don't necessarily need to take it to the site, but just to have it as a project manager. So energy audits are comprehensive evaluation of the actual performance of a facilities energy using system and equipment, how this facility they are using their energy and how they are managing their system. And they help us to evaluate it. Okay, how is this facility using their equipment? How are they managing it? Then energy audit also help us to measure, fix the basis and monitor energy usage. Yes, they help us to monitor it. They help us to manage energy. They help us to know, okay, this is the kind of, even in terms of this is the amount I'm spending on energy. It helps us to even save money. If you do an energy audit, you know, okay, if I'm wasting money or I'm saving money. At times, if you are not using prepaid, it's also help you to know if NEPA is overcharging me or is undercharging me. Then when you do an energy audit, it helps you to know, okay, which appliances in my house am I supposed to use and the one I'm not supposed to use. Do you understand? So that's energy audit is very, very, very important. It also helps you to know that, oh, this appliances is an old appliances. Let me do away with it. Let me use an energy efficient appliances just to help me manage my system. So it helps you to save money. And we have the objectives of energy audit is to determine the current energy consumption. What are we using presently? Then it tells us about the potential to save energy. Like you can be in the house now, you're not in maybe you have like 3 rooms and you're in one of the rooms. Why not switch off the fan in the other rooms? Because if you don't switch it off, you are consuming energy. So by the time you do an energy audit, it tells you, okay, this is the amount I'm spending on electricity. Let me save my electricity. Let me try and put some appliances off and use this. So it's kind of like it's something everyone is supposed to be aware, whether you're a technician or not a technician. Everyone has to be energy conscious, so you save your money. So it also helps us to prioritize our action. Like when I do energy audit for people, I will ask them, okay, you want inverter battery, which appliances do you want to power? As well, they will say, power everything. I will say, power everything. What is power everything? Okay, what do you want me to power? AC, fridge, freezer, microwave, electric cooker. When I tell them, no, this thing, it's not as if it won't carry it, but you will kill the battery and you're going to consume more battery. So it's going to cost you, let's say, some certain amount of money. And they will not say, no, what I want is, they will not start saying, okay, sometimes I will ask them, what exactly do you want to power? Then I say, okay, just my fan and my light bulbs and my TV. So it now helps them to prioritize their action that, oh, let me just power just my fan, my TV. These are the that's the main energy needs that I have, than just do everything. So when we do energy audit, it helps the client as well to prioritize the equipment to use in their homes, to let them know that, okay, these are my major appliances at home. These ones, they are not really necessary. It's not as if I don't need them, but they are something I can do away with. So that is one of the importance of energy audit. So I think before I go into, let's log out and come back. I don't want you to cut me off. Do you understand?
Okay.
So we have two major types of energy audit. Two major types of energy audits: the walkthrough energy audit and the comprehensive energy audit. The walkthrough energy audit is a light audit that consists of relatively brief inspection of the facility to identify maintenance, operational loads, deficient equipment issues, and to identify areas which need further evaluation. Then while the comprehensive, it is a thorough audit evaluating the energy consuming system of a building or plant in details. So let me go back again. The walkthrough is what we mostly practice in solar installation, especially if we have to do with but when we are dealing with, let's say, factories, maybe we want to install in factories or big companies that really need to check what they are consuming, that's when we need the comprehensive. But if we are going for a walkthrough, if I want to do an installation now, all you need to do is just to, maybe someone wants to install solar in his or her house, or you want to install in your house.
Yes.
What you need is a walkthrough audit. Just check the power rating of the TV set, the radio, the speaker, the fan. You take note of the appliances in your house. Then you take note of the total load. Then you start doing your calculation. But if it is something like, let's say, a factory, like I said, or an airport, or an hotel that are using heavy equipment and they want to install solar in some part of the building, that one you need to use a comprehensive audit, where you use your fluke meter, energy meter. If you see the first picture, is someone that's my colleague. Okay. He was doing a walkthrough energy audit in this site, in this building. So he was just taking note of the appliances. Or what do you have? How many hours do you use this television? Asking them some certain questions. How many hours of light do you use to have a day? Okay, how many hours do you if you have light, how many hours do you usually use this light to power your television, to power your radio, or to power your bulbs? So he was asking different types of questions. But in this second picture, that's me there. I was doing a comprehensive energy audit. And what was in my hand was a fluke meter, or there's one called fluke, there's one called energy meter. So, like, the difference between these two, this energy audit, you can do it in a day, just one day. Go there, short, within some minutes, go there and take notes. Okay, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that, okay. But this comprehensive, it stays, you put this equipment in the dashboard. In the dashboard, you know that dashboard where you put your, yes, that distribution board. Yes. You connect it there, and it will be there for, at minimum is 3 days. Some is 7 days, some is 2 weeks, just to take data. It will tell it, different readings will keep coming, which you check every day. Then from that report, because when you are done with this audit, you take it to your system and you analyze the report. From there, from that analysis, because it has to do with a lot of technical, there's a lot of technology behind it. So when you take the equipment back to the system, you run the reports, you start analyzing, okay, from this wing of this building, this is the amount of electricity they are using. From this department, they are using this amount. From this, the comprehensive is well detailed, more than the walkthrough, well detailed. Sometimes if there is maybe the organization want to determine which area of the building is consuming more electricity, is the comprehensive energy audit to use. Maybe there is kind of like the electricity in that building is not balanced, and they're trying to check because there's loss somewhere. There's loss of power somewhere, but they want to know where is it coming from. You can't use a walkthrough to do that. You use a comprehensive audit to do that. And it's not a one-day thing. It can be 2 weeks, at times 1 month, because they are trying to run a proper analysis of the way energy is being consumed. Because they will calculate the energy coming into that building and the one going out. Which of the rooms, which of the part of the building is this power going to? Because that thing you saw me connecting, that's a transformer. So I'm trying to check, okay, which of the part of the building has fault, or which of them consume certain amount of power. So that's a comprehensive energy audit. And the meter is about 120,000 as of 2 years ago. That meter cost, was it? No, it's not 120. That meter cost almost, there's one of them that is 120, there's one of them that cost almost 1 million. One of those meter. So it's too expensive. So when we are going for, let's say the organization that maybe the energy audit organization are going to audit all these big appliances, because it's not something you use often. So most people don't like buying it to keep, unless you want to buy it and hire it out. And even if you hire it out, it's not safe. What if by the time you hire your meter out and something happened in that building, your meter that worth hundreds of thousands has lost? So most technicians don't really use this one, because in installation, that's solar installation. But I know for NEPA use this. NEPA use this fluke meter. They use that. But for solar installation, most of what we use is the walkthrough energy audit. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So that's me there with my helmet. I'm putting on my vest. I'm putting on my gloves.
Engineer.
What do you say?
Engineer.
You are saying engineer.
At work. Engineer at work.
Okay, engineer at work. All right. So our focus is the walkthrough energy audit. So determination of which audit method to use. Factors that determine the audit method. You look at, because you cannot just say, I don't want, or maybe you want to install for somebody, and the person is saying, I want you to bring your equipment to come and check. I don't want you to come and count my fan and my light. Are you sure that your counting is accurate? Is the person going to pay you? Because for you to get that, to do that comprehensive, you hire that equipment. And as of 2 years ago, as of 2019, so a day to hire that fluid meter is 20,000. So who will,
how much?
20,000 for a day.
Oh, okay, wow.
To hire that equipment to go and do a comprehensive audit. So which of the clients will say, okay, I want to run audits, take 100K to do audits for me?
Yeah.
Please excuse me. Or which of the clients will now say, okay, take 100K to do audit for me. And you can't spend that kind of money because you want to run audits. So you look at the funding involved, then the cost and the potential of the energy conservation opportunity. You look at those ones, the cost, then the required accuracy of the audit information. Let's say, for example, if the organization said, we want to know in detail, where this energy losses is coming from. You know that, okay, I'm going to do a comprehensive energy audit. You come with the meter, you put it in their transformer. It will run for weeks. You're able to determine it. Then also the type of facility. You can't bring a fluke meter and say you want to put it in your compound. For what now? Maybe in 3-bedroom flats, you spend that kind of money and put it in your compound. Because you will leave it there for days. Somebody can come and take it and steal it and go. That's one of these things. They say, because you will leave it in your transformer and you will go. You can't sleep with the thing there overnight. Somebody can come and pick that meter and go with it. So you look at the type of facility, the function of the facility, what are they doing? If it's a residential apartment, there is no need. You can still do your calculation somehow. Then the processes within the facility. So energy audits can be done. Who can do energy audits? It can be done by company staff, external audits, obtained through energy service professionals. It can be done by technicians as well. Those that have the experience, that have the idea on energy, it can be done. So it's not necessary that until I go, yes, it is until maybe I have a certificate, the energy audit, before I can practice energy. No, as long as you have the understanding of how it works, like the way I'm teaching you, you are good to go to do an energy audit. So that's who can practice this energy audit. It's not until you go to university and study energy audit before you can practice it. No. So the main steps of energy audit: kickoff meeting, on-site inspection, data analysis, result restitution. So kickoff meeting, what it means is that, okay, let's say, for example, we want to go to Onitsha. Are you in Enugu or in Calabar?
Kogi State.
Okay, in Kogi State. Let's say you want to go to maybe one of the house, maybe, or let's say, for example, you want to go to your church, or you want to go to maybe your brother's school or your sister's school to install solar for them. First thing first, they will call you. Oh, engineer, come to our school. You have a meeting with them. You talk to them. You want to install solar. You say, okay, I'm coming. You've already started that meeting. You go to the site, on-site inspection. You ask them, okay, how many classrooms do you have? How many classrooms do you have? They will tell you, okay, we have 10 classrooms. What are the appliances? You will not just say, oh, you will go to each of the classrooms, you inspect. Okay, this is the classroom. These are what they are using. Go to the next class, you inspect, you check. Here is your distribution board. You check that distribution board. Are you using generator? You just keep inspecting. You take note which of the wing. Because I've gone to a school here in Lagos that they have like it's a boarding school, different wing, and you have to number them. Left wing, how many classroom? Upstairs, downstairs, right wing, how many classroom? Staff, teachers room, the library, the computer room. What is in the computer room? After the computer room, you have the principal office. After the principal office, you have the vice principal office. You will analyze all these things. Then, okay, in the principal office, what kind of appliances is there? You take notes. Or in the vice principal, what kind of appliances is there? You take notes. So this is an inspection. There you are collecting data. You are collecting data. That's the data analysis. Then by the time you are done with the data, you've taken enough of it, you now start calculating. Okay, the total wattage of the appliances in the principal office, what is it? The one in the principal, what is it? The one in each of the class, what is it? The one at this one side of the house, the building. You take note, you do your calculation. Then your table will not be like this. You see the table. LED bulb, how many? Let's say, for example, your house. LED bulb, how many bulbs do I have in my house? 11. Okay, what's the wattage of the bulb in my house? 11 watts. How many? 6. Total wattage, 66. How many hours do I keep it on? It's 4 hours. So my hand mistakenly press.
Yeah.
So, like, how many hours does usually stay on? Okay, 4 hours. This is the power. The total wattage, remember, power is rated in watts. Then the hours. Then this is the hour. Then this is the energy. Energy is watt hour. This energy is the watt hour. So this is power. This is power. Then this is energy. Do you understand? So
very well.
Yeah, fan. How many watts? Is it standing fan or ceiling fan? Because there are different wattage. Ceiling fan is different from standing fan. Is it energy efficient fan or is it all this old fan? Is it ORL fan? At times you will not see the wattage of the fan. It's good that we go online and Google it. Okay, this my client who is using ORL fan. What is the wattage of ORL fan? It will come out. I think you see the one that is close to it, you write it down. How many fans do they have? 2. What is the wattage? 40 times 2, 80. How many hours do they usually use it? Let's say, for example, they used to have 4 hours of light a day. You put it there. 4. Or maybe if they don't have light at all, and they say, okay, see, in this space, in this number of hours now, this number of hours, there's a way we walk around this hour. This hour, it can be, let's say the hour the client wants this fan to be on. For example, in workplace, it's 9 to 5, right? 9 to 5 is almost like, let's just say 12 hours. The person can say, I want my fan to be on for 12 hours. So when you write your 80 total watts here, you will come here and put 12 hours, 12. Do you understand?
Very well, very well.
So you multiply it, so it's what we have here. The fridge, some will tell you, okay, I don't really want the fridge to be on all day. You know, fridge is, when it's on for some time, you can put it off and allow the one that is cool just to conhear. The person can just say, okay, let the fridge just stay like 2 hours. Because my fridge is energy efficient fridge. If it stays 2 hours, I think it's enough for the day. You put it there 2 hours. And even when you are taking, you must take note of the wattage of the fridge. Very, very important. Check the body of the fridge where they wrote wattage. If you did not see it, the name of that fridge, take it to Google. Google it, the wattage of this fridge. If it is too much, tell the client, madam, this your fridge is too, the wattage is consuming, it will consume a lot of power. Use that's why you now start advising them. It seems you use an energy efficient fridge. This your fridge is too high. I can't put it. It will drain up the battery. Do you understand? So that's where energy audit helps you to manage. It helps you to prioritize your appliances. It helps you to manage. It helps you to advise your client to say, use this one, don't use this one. Use this one, don't use this one. And some will tell you AC. By the time you change the type of AC that they are using, all these old AC that they have like 3 horsepower. And one horsepower, I think 1 horsepower is approximately 750 watts. Imagine putting 750 watts in this
750
for those one. Then you're having AC of like 3 watts. That's 3 times 750. That one alone is almost like is 2,000 something watts. It's more than what you see in this table. So there and then we just tell the clients, you see this your AC, you cannot power it with solar. You will keep the battery. Either you change your AC to inverter AC or just use only fan. So that's when we advise them. We just tell them use only fan. So you do the calculation. Then the laptop, how many hours? You cannot just on your laptop, charge your laptop all day. So you take note, how many hours? Then the television, how many hours? You put down on that. So by the time you take note of all this one now is total wattage.
Wow.
Then this one is the power. Then this one is the energy. So from here.
Are you recording it? Sorry.
Yes,
Are you recording it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'm recording it. So it's from here.
Okay.
You do your calculation of the battery capacity, the inverter capacity. That's when we start the practical. But at least from this stage, you can say, okay, how many hours? Then this. Then you cannot do the battery capacity, the inverter capacity. I want to move to the next. Okay. So there are two major sectors that require energy audits: residential and industrial. Residential is the home, hotels, hostels, schools. Then while industrial, factories, hospitals, plazas, banks. And you know this, like the homes now, I told you can do a walkthrough energy audit. The industrial, you can, that's where, let me just tell you a big story of how I started doing this energy audit. Maybe you understand. In one of my former places of work, I work as the operations analyst. That's I'm the one that I take note, and I take note of. I'm in charge of clients. I'm in charge of design, system design. We want to install. I'm in charge of those ones in running projects. And our company used to outsource this energy audit to another company. So when those people finish the energy audit, they will send me the report. Then me, I will now analyze the report and use it to determine the number of batteries we will use, the number of inverter based on the report. Do you understand? So when they send me, when I'm analyzing the data, I used to have issues. Sometimes they used to repeat the reports. Maybe we send them to go to Lekki, and we now send them to go to Bagada. When they are sending the reports, it's like the person is doing copy and paste of what he did in Lekki. You just change the thing one kind and give me a report of Bagada. The thing was not affecting me, that is because it's what they give to me. If the wattage is not correct, if the wattage, if this wattage here are not correct, I'm going to be designing a lot of, I will not be asking for, instead of asking for 2 batteries for the client, I'll be telling the client 4 batteries. The client will not be complaining, but it's too much now. I'm not using so many things. So that thing was not giving me a concern that, how come? Is it that these people are not calculating this thing well? So one day, I now told the person that is doing the energy audit that, please wait for me. I will follow you to the next energy audit that we want to do. Let me see the way you are doing it. And me, I stay in mainland. He stays in the island. So before, I was not like 30 minutes behind time because I was in traffic and rain fell. So I now told him, please wait for me now. And that place was a training center. It's an upstairs. He said, I've already started the audit. I checked my time just there. By the time I got there, it was already 30 minutes. I was already 30 minutes late. He now told me it was true. And I'm like, yeah, true. Just now, 30 minutes. And we used to pay him 30,000 naira for any energy audit we send him to do. So, and I said, Oga, you mean you're true just like that? He said, yes. And I told him, can you show me what you did? At least let me see what you did. He said, he now took me around the facility. Victoria, I took note of the HVAC system. I took note, when they are speaking their big English, you think they want to do one work for you. I took notes. He now counted the thing. He now took me around. In my mind, like, so 30 minutes. What is it that this guy did 30 minutes? You know, when you say 30 minutes, 30K, guy, what will you think? Because when I get to the office manager will pay him 30K for the energy audit. In my mind, I'm like, 30 minutes, you are done. And you still send me reports that is not good. I will be having issue designing system. That thing touched me. I told my manager, okay, I did solar. I did mini-grid design. And I know energy audit is just so close to mini-grid design. As long as I've done mini-grid design, I'm supposed to know how to do energy audit. Okay, I want to go and learn it. That's how I learned it. I went back to go and learn energy audit. Within 3 days, I'm done. The training was more than 100K. I said, okay, I will pay. I want to learn this thing. And as at that period, that was the period our company wanted to, we are opening into 3 branches in Niger Delta. So we wanted to go to 7 sites in 3 states. So they now asked me to bring codes from 3 different companies that are doing energy audits. That these people will help us to go to those sites. That's 5 sites in 3 states. That's 15 sites. And I brought 3 proposals from 3 different solar companies that does energy audit. In short, as at this morning, I was still looking at their invoice. I was seeing 3 million, 2.5 million, 2.7 million just to go and do energy audit in that's 5 sites in 3 states, that's 15. So that was when this incident, or when I said this man I will follow him, let me see. He finished and came back 30. He said 30 minutes is done. And I told my boss, hey, me, I want to learn this audit too. When I went to go and learn this audit, he now said, Victoria, you mean you can do energy audit now? I said, yes, now. I said, yes, I can do it. And can you teach other people? I said, yes, now. So you will travel to this state and go and teach corpers there, because we employed corpers to manage all these other states for us. I said, yes, now, I can go. That's how me and my partner, we went to Asaba, went to Benin, went to Ondo. I went to go and train these corpers energy audits. So all those 2.5, 3 million that those companies gave us for just 5 sites each, which would have paid that kind of money just to go and do it. If I tell you that me and my team, we did more than 300 sites, 300 in those 3 states. So imagine if we had outsourced this energy audit to those companies, you know how many millions they would have collected. So that is why I said it's something that we can learn, we can do it. And that's I was able to save my company from that kind of money, because every staff that we employ, I had to train them on energy audits. So it was not like a normal thing. Everybody can do energy audits, very easy. And this is the money we give to one company, a site 30,000, a site 30,000. Then we did more than 300 in this Niger Delta. 300 times 30,000. How many million is that? Because they were already ready. They're like, sir, when are we traveling to go and do energy audit for your company? But we told them, no, sorry, we are no longer using you. Our staff can do it now. To them, it was like a loss, but to the company, it was a gain. Because I saw it like, something we can do now. What is there? So it's something you can learn. It's easy. It's what anybody can learn. So now, when you go to a site, if you have any question, please tell me. Hello?
Yes. No question.
Okay. So when you go to a site, okay, like this one now, this is a site. It's a plaza. Can you see it? Very big. And they say, okay, Ekon, go to this plaza. You've done energy audit. Go and do energy, or they want to install solar. The landlord call you now. Ekon, engineer, Ekon, yeah, come. You're a solar installer. You want to install solar that will power all the shops in this plaza. Can you see it? They're like, so in this plaza now is an XYZ facility located at number 5 Oni Street, Surulere, Lagos. It has 13 shops. The nature of the business, you see the way I'm giving you the site layout, the way it is now, even if you are not there, somebody sees this report, the person can know what to do, the way you said you present it. The nature of the business includes a betting shop, tailoring shop, clothing, pharmacy, laundry shop, and a church. This is the church. This is a church here. This is the betting. I think betting is somewhere here. Then the 13 shops. Then you look at this ground floor. You see the way it was being driven. That, okay, yes. Oh, this 13 shop, this is shop 1, shop 2. This is a staircase. Can you see it?
Okay, yes.
This is a staircase.
Yes.
This is another shop. There is a meter here. They connected a meter here. This is another shop. There's a meter here. This is a staircase. This is another shop. This is another shop for the ground floor. Can you see it? Even if maybe you are the one that did it, I saw it, I will know what to do. I will say, okay, this is the diagram. Okay, that this is the kind of place I'm going to install. Even the engineer sees it, the person will understand that, okay, this is where I'm going to install. So in this section, you count how many appliances, the quantity, the power. So these are the details of how it look like. Do you understand?
Yes, yes. Okay.
So when you have done, I'm coming. Yes. I'm coming. Like when you've done the total calculation, let's say, for example, in shop 1, you note all the appliances. Yeah. They have, like, let me go back. Let me go back. Yes. 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 Okay, let's say, for example, now in this betting shop, if you go to this betting shop now, they have laptop, they have desktop, and this desktop, this system, they will only from morning till night. You know, betting shop does not close. You take notes, each of the shop. This tailoring shop, she will have sewing machine. She will have a electric iron. So you will not all what she have. Every shop will have their own audit, load analysis. That's how it is. So every shop will have their own load. We call it load demand or load analysis. If this one now is for the betting shop, we say, okay, appliances in the betting shop, quantity, power, total power. So in like that, do you understand? So it's when you've done all this calculation, I will share a lot of, I can't put them in my slide. So I will share a lot of materials with you. Do you understand? So because I want to go into the business proper, so that what I have is what that will be left will be the practical. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So let me go to the business first. I want to go to the course outline I sent to you. So I make sure I work with it. Because I will give you some calculation.
Yes.
Then I will do a voice note on it.
Okay.
Okay, what's remaining for us now is the system design. And the system design is gotten from, that's the calculation of the inverter battery.
Yes.
Though I will share that, all those ones are practical. So I will share. Yes. I will share. Yes. Okay. Like from here now. So is from this total wattage and the watt hour, we get the calculation of the inverter, the battery, the solar panel. I'll do calculation on that one for you. What I will do for that one, I will write it out. I will do a voice note and explain it in detail. That one, you have a recording of that one, the way I did the calculation. Do you understand?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So now I want to go to the business aspect because that one is the main thing.
Okay.
So that's the main thing. Then when I do the voice note of this calculation of how to generate panel and all that, then
yes,
I will give you assignments you will do for your house. You will start going out. You start talking to people. That's your assignment. So, but now let's go to the business, how to make money in solar energy business. So, number one is, how do you get clients? Are you with your outline?
yes.
Okay. How to get clients to buy solar system. Now that you've seen when we are discussing about the non-renewable energy source, how it causes climate change, and the way even power is in Nigeria. A lot of people are using generator, is consuming more, and people are crying out every day. Okay, like now, I'm talking to you now, I'm taking the lights, and I'll be sweating. I need power.
Yes.
So, short, power is something, the way we cannot do without food, we cannot do without power. So now people are crying out, they want to buy solar, but they don't know who to talk to. And even they don't know who to, even you that even say, okay, I want to sell, you don't even know which one you will buy. You don't even know what kind of battery sell, or how many battery will you buy, and all that. So first thing first is, how do you get clients to buy solar system? You talk to your friends. You talk to maybe somebody that is always using generator, always is burning generator. Oga, this one wey dey burn gen, maybe a barber shop. You talk to your barber, he dey burn gen. How much it is? How much you dey buy for a day? 500 naira. 500 naira times 25 days. That's, let me do the calculation. So you know how people are spending money. 500 times 25. 25, that's 12,500. Then times 12 months. That means in a year, the barber, if he's buying 500 naira fuel, which I know he cannot buy, if he buy 2,000 naira or 1,500 in a day,
Yes.
just 500 naira in a year, that barber is spending 150,000 on fuel alone, not to talk of maintenance. So, and this barber will tell you, I no wan buy solar too dear, but you tell him, oga, you dey spend, if you are buying fuel 500 naira a day, that means the person is spending 150,000 just for 25 days. He won't even know that he has that kind of money. So you talk to people that they are having power issue. You talk to people that are always using generator. That's your target market. Then another thing, how you still get clients, you still position yourself. You tell people, I dey install solar. You may not, let me tell you about this business. Guy, you may not necessarily be the one to install. Me, I don't install. There are some tech. Do you do anything electrical? Have you done electrical work before, wiring?
No.
Okay. You don't really, majorly people that do, like people I use for my own installation, they're electricians. They've been doing, they're all these electricians for hours, they've been doing electrical wiring. So a lot of them are, they've diverted into installing inverter and battery, so they know how to install. Some, they study solar, but it's just of recent that people are starting studying solar. But all these technicians, they are just using the idea to just say, I can install too. But there are some people that went to the school and study solar. So there's either way, either you go and learn how to install on its own, or you can outsource the installation to people who know how to install. I will share with you the materials you need to know That one I will share. There's so many materials I'm going to share with you. What you need to know, even if you are bringing somebody in to install for you. So your own is just to meet people. So Oga, buy solar system. Oh. They will tell you, I bet solar no dey work. Oga, e dey work. Solar too dear. The only way I used to, most times, the way I used to convince them, Oga, how much you dey spend for phone? 2,000 naira a day. 2,000 times 30 days, how much is that one? So if you buy solar of, let's say, 300,000, you don't save your money because a battery lasts for 2 to 3 years lifespan. Some can be 3 years. If you manage it well, some can stay 4 years. But normally from the company, they will tell you 2 to 3 years. But it now depends on how the customer use the battery. Do you understand? Then the inverter also stays 2 to 3 years, 5 years, but it depends on how you use the inverter. The inverter, there's this slide I'm supposed to share with you. Let me see if I can share my screen. Let me stop sharing this one.
Maybe you didn't know it all.
What do you say?
No, not you. I was talking to my wife.
Okay. I'm coming out to share another file. I wanted to show you some pictures. I'm trying to leave this place and share this.
Okay.
Okay, I think I've seen. I want to show you some pictures or some things. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So there's something I need to explain to you, how the solar system works. So this is solar energy. That's energy from the sun, which can produce electricity. So how can electricity be generated from this sun? There's a principle behind it. Electricity can be generated from the sun with the use of solar panels. These solar panels convert sunlight, solar radiation to electricity through photovoltaic cell. You know, the way this sun is just shining, there are radiations coming from it, and those radiation can be converted to electricity. And that can only be possible through the solar panels. These solar panels they are made up of photovoltaic cell, which is phosphorus and I think sulfur. Semiconductors. I mean silicon. Yeah, silicon. So this photovoltaic cell, they generate direct current when sun rays strike on it. That's when the radiation from the sun hits that panel. it brings direct current. But this direct current, we can't use it to power our appliances. Our appliances uses an alternating current. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, we are not using direct current, but there are some appliances that are direct current, DC appliances, but they're expensive. So this photovoltaic cell, as we know, they are semiconductor materials that they work both as conductor and insulator. They can transmit electricity and restrict electricity. So we have three types of the solar panel. We have the polycrystalline, we have the monocrystalline, and we have the thin film. Can you see the picture?
Very well.
But the one we mostly use in Nigeria is monocrystalline. It has a good efficiency. It's work perfectly. It's what is adaptable to our environment here. When you go to the market, you always get mono. There are mono panel, that's what you get. And there are different wattage. There's a small one of 20 watts. There's one of 100 watts. But the one you see the one of 240 watts, the one of 300 watts, the one of 360, there's 400. But there's even one of 500, but it's scarce, it's on demand. But the one you always see in the market is between 240 to 350 watts. You will get 350 watt mono. And they are in different sizes and different wattages. Do you understand? So these panels, these are what help us to generate the electricity from the sun. They trap it. Direct current comes from it. But we cannot just connect this panel to our television set. Our television is AC. Our radio is AC. Our bulb is AC. So how do we now use it? That's when this inverter comes in. Because it's telling us that, yeah, it's telling us solar panel generate direct current. But these are our appliances, they use alternating current. So what will now happen? So that is why we now use what? AC. I mean, we use an inverter. Inverter is an electrical device that converts that direct current that is coming from that solar panel. It converts it to alternating current. Do you get it? Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sorry.
Oh,
I don't know what happened.
okay. So, like I said, I don't know where you cut off. Is it from this solar panel?
Yes, yes, the solar panel, yes.
So, like I said the solar panel, they generate direct current when they are exposed to sunlight. But we can't use
Yes.
this direct current to power our appliances because our appliances, they use alternating current. So
Okay.
for us to use these solar panels to power our appliances, we need an electrical device called the inverter. So this inverter, they convert direct current to alternating current and supply that alternating current to the appliances in our home. Do you understand now?
Very well, yes.
Yes. So they act as converter. This inverter, they act as converter.
Okay.
They convert direct current from the solar panel to alternating current. And this inverter still also act as rectifier. Rectifier converts alternating current to direct current.
Okay.
They have inbuilt rectifier, but they are inverter. So their work is to convert direct current from the solar panel to an alternating current. Do you get it?
Okay. Very well.
Yeah. So, but in the night, when the solar panel is not generating electricity, so what will now happen? Is it that we will not have electricity? So that's when we now have batteries. These are batteries.
Okay.
So this battery, they are electrochemical device. They help us to convert, they are stored in chemical form. They have some acid inside. They have liquid inside. Some are dry cell, some are wet cell. Like this one now is dry cell. You don't need to fill with water. You know, there are some batteries that you top with water, distill water every time, like your car battery, or those tubular batteries. But this one, they are dry cell. They don't need any form of maintenance. They are gel inside. So these batteries, they help us to convert chemical energy to electrical energy. They are backup power. They act like the way our phone battery is. You know, when you plug your cable to it, that's electric current you are passing through the cable to your phone. And when it's fully charged, you remove that electric current. And what you have is your phone battery, which is already stored in chemical form. Your battery is stored in chemical form. I don't know if you could correct. You know those phone that uses Nokia that you can remove their head. You know, at times those batteries used to swell. And
exactly.
It will swell, then water will come out.
Yes.
So these are chemicals. They are stored in chemical. Those are energy, but they are just that is in chemical form. So, but they were charged through electrical, but they store those electrical energy in chemical form. That's the same way it works here. Even your power bank, you use electrical energy to charge it to be full, and your power bank has inbuilt battery. Those batteries stored in chemical form. That's the way this battery for solar to work. So when, like the way it works now, this battery is stored in direct current, not alternating current. Do you understand? I want you to get it. Battery is stored in direct current. Inverter is to convert direct current to alternating current. Get it? I'll see break it down again. Then there's what we call the charge controller. It's a device that controls the output of power from the solar panel used to charge the battery. Also, it helps to charge the battery perfectly, and it protects the battery from overcharging and deep discharge. Let me explain. This charge controller, anytime we want to use solar panel, we must use this solar charge controller so that it helps us to control. This solar charge controller is connected to the solar panel. When the battery is full, this charge controller will cut off that. It will stop the solar panel from charging the battery. Because as the direct current is coming from the solar panel, it goes to charge the battery. It does not charge inverter. Inverter is just there as a converter.
Avatar, yes.
It is, the panel is just charging the battery. It's focusing, let me charge the battery. So is it when the battery is full, that's when this charge controller will now tell the solar panel, stop charging, don't charge battery again. It prevents the battery from overcharging. Then even when maybe when you are using the battery is now low. You know those when our phone ring, battery low, when it's 15%. That's why this charge controller, it will stop. When there are some battery that they built it to be 50%. When that battery is 50% low, maybe it was start to 100%. Maybe the manufacturer made it to be 50%. Once it's 50%, the battery will not supply power to the house again because the charge controller has cut it off. Because it doesn't want that battery to spoil. So it is preventing that battery from deep discharge. Deep discharge used to spoil battery. Just like when you allow your laptop battery to run down or your phone battery to run down, every day you're allowing it to run down. That battery will not last now. Before you know, you will change battery. So that's the work of the charge controller. You can see those reading on it. When the solar panel is charging the battery, it will be showing on the reading there that, okay, this amount of voltage is entering the battery. This is the rate at which the panel is charging. That's where you read the amount of voltage, the power the panel is generating, and the one that is entering the battery. Do you get it? Yes. The inverter now, if you look at this inverter now, once the battery is, if it's supplying, because it's this inverter that will supply power to the load, all the houses, it will tell you in this place where those light is, it will tell you, okay, is supplying to the house. There's a reading on it to tell you supplying. If the battery is low, the inverter will still tell you deep discharge, battery low, connect to source, connect to power, connect to main source. That's if you are not connected to solar panel, maybe what you use is NEPA light. It will tell you battery low, connect to the main supply, connect to main supply. It will still, there will be a beep sound from the inverter to tell you, ping, 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 is a signal, battery low, ping, ping. It will just be giving you that sound.
Okay.
So then this is how the solar home system is. This is the sun. It goes to the panel. That's the radiation. It goes, hits the panel, produces what? Direct current. The direct current now passes through the charge controller. That's the charge controller I showed you. This is it. To go and charge the batteries. And I told you these batteries are stored in what? Direct current. Please don't forget, they are not alternating current. Batteries are stored in direct current. So, and our appliances cannot use direct current. So we will now use an inverter and connect it to the battery. Then we use, from that inverter, we will use it to go and supply all our AC load, all our alternating current, alternating voltage, or our television, our radio. It's only maybe if the house are using DC fan, DC bulb, then you don't need an inverter. You just from battery go straight to DC. But it's not everybody that is using DC. DC appliances are expensive. So that is why we still use inverter. Then another thing again, there are some places that you don't need solar panel. Let's say, for example, maybe in your house, you used to have 10 hours of light per day. And the other remaining hours, you use gen. No need for solar panel. You remove solar panel. You just buy only battery and inverter. You don't even need charge controller. You only buy battery and inverter. You don't need charge controller because it's only when you are using solar panel, you use charge controller.
Okay.
Do you get it? So when you have, like, let's say 10 hours of light, 4 hours of light, 5 hours of NEPA light every day, I will advise your clients, madam, you don't need solar panel. What you need is inverter and battery. The NEPA light Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. That is if we have 5 to 4 hours of light in a day.
A day, yes. At times,
Okay.
even 3 hours. If the current that comes in, that voltage, some current that comes in, they are low voltage. Low,
Yes,
so I can't guarantee those ones. But the one that that, yes, once we have light, the light stays through 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. I used to advise my clients, madam, you don't need panel. With your battery, let NEPA light charge those batteries full. Don't use it when light is on. You know that, okay, when light is on, please don't connect your inverter to your load. Off it. Let the battery be full first. Then when light goes off, then you cannot start using that inverter. The battery will stay throughout that day. It will stay the next day till light come again. Do you understand? Yes. That's battery good. Can stay 12 hours. If you charge, let's say you buy two 200 amp hour battery. Yes. And you just use only fan, or you buy even one, or you buy two small 100 amp battery. Like the person I installed for last week, I gave him 1.7 kVA inverter and 200 amp battery. That's 200 amp battery in total. And he's just using it for one wall fan and TV and light. When I asked him how many hours, he said 8 hours a day. 8 hours with your NEPA light. It's good to go, and he was enjoying it. So when light comes again, he just know that, okay, I will start charging again. I will charge. Once it's full, okay, let me go to my inverter, they're taking the light. That's the other people that used to have 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. The day you have on, the day you have on, charge those battery, don't use it. Then the day you have off on your battery, before the battery will run down, the next day has come. That's how it works. Then at times, let's say for example, sometimes some clients will say, I want to install solar, but I don't have enough money to power everything in my house. How do you advise? I say, okay, if you want to install, let's say in the daytime now, let's say for example, the battery is full, and in the daytime, the person have maybe fridge, there is sun, quickly use that sun. Maybe you're using panel. There are some cases that maybe the people have solar, because we don't encourage you use solar panel that on your fridge, especially if it's not energy efficient fridge. But in the daytime, use your panel to charge to power your fridge. You can, so in the night, when there is no power coming from the solar panel, off your fridge, use only your battery and your inverter to power your TV and your bulb. Do you understand? Yes. Okay, so I think I have to go back to the business of solar now. I don't know if you have any question here, so I'll go back to the business of solar.
Yes, I do. I have questions. Okay. The first one is, you said if one should have source of power, maybe 4 to 5 hours in a day.
Yes.
It would be good for the person to do without the panel.
Yes, yes.
Solar panel, just the battery and the inverter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
because,
now,
yeah. Okay.
So how would the battery be charged based on the connection to the inverter? I don't know.
Okay, like the way they connect, they do wiring of house, that you have changeover from generator to NEPA lights.
Okay.
So the electrician, that's why I said, you may not necessarily do everything. You can outsource those ones, unless you want to learn it and go to technical aspects. So
no, don't learn that one.
So the battery is connected to the inverter. The inverter now is the one that is connected to the NEPA. Because the voltage coming, the current coming from NEPA is not direct current, it's what? Alternating current. So is the inverter that is connected to NEPA. And I remember I told you that this inverter also works as what? Rectifier. Rectifier means conversion of alternating to direct. Inverter is direct to alternating, but this inverter, they still work as rectifier. So we connect this inverter to the NEPA light. So from the NEPA, it passes through the inverter as alternating current. Then the inverter, the rectifier inside will now convert that alternating current to direct current, which will now be charging the battery. Do you understand? Okay. So when NEPA comes in the reading of the battery, like this inverter now, when NEPA comes in, you'll be here, it will say battery charging, battery charging, battery charging. That's what you see. It will notify you. It will be telling you battery charging. Do you understand?
Okay.
So this inverter now will now be the one that will be charging the battery through NEPA lights, because there is rectifier inside that converts alternating current coming from NEPA light to direct current, which battery, battery is stored in direct current. So do you understand the difference now? So that's how it works.
Okay, please go back to the diagram. Okay. Yes. Okay, now from this diagram is being showed how sun rail is being transferred from the panel to the charge controller, from the battery to the inverter down to the house, the AC. Yes. Now, if we are to do without the solar panel, just the battery and the inverter, how would the connection flow?
Okay, the connection. Okay, continue.
Yes, is it from the battery to the inverter to the house, or inverter battery to the house? If we are to do without solar panel.
Is inverter battery inside the house, not even outside the house, inside.
Oh. Okay, inverter battery then
inside. The house I will share. Inside. I think let me share on WhatsApp for you some pictures, so you see what I'm trying to, what I meant. It's inside, but at times some people will want it outside.
Okay.
But most times we do it inside the house. Then that's where they use your dashboard. I know everybody has their own dashboard, that DB.
Yes. Yes.
So in that DB now, they will tap from when they call, because it's the inverter that you take to your changeover. So in your changeover now, you'll be having inverter and NEPA changeover. Inverter and NEPA. Do you understand? There's a way electrician used to do but the inverter will be, you have another changeover that will be inverter and NEPA. Let me show you. Let me go to your WhatsApp and send you some pictures of how it look like.
Okay. So my second question is this. When is it safe for one to use solar panel? Is it when they do have stable light, like one day on, one day off, or what?
Okay, for you to use solar panels when maybe you don't have lights, for maybe there's something wrong with the transformer and you're not sure of lights, or maybe your light is 1 day on, 2 days off. That one now, you know that, before it will reach your turn, your battery has run down. But if you just 1 day on, 1 day off, you can still go for inverter battery, because the day it will be on, maybe the day you use your own on, the on will stay for a very long time. I believe that's how they should do the 1 day on, 1 day off. The day is the day of your on. You should have light at least 10 hours for that day. And that one will be enough to charge those batteries, which will serve you for the day that is off for you. Do you understand?
Oh, okay, I do very well. Yeah.
So still continue asking questions regarding the, but this is where the main, I want to send you some
Okay.
pictures.
All right.
Still check and ask questions, please.
Okay. Now, as for the battery, what type of battery is suitable to be used for this work? Solar system.
Okay, I want to send you. I'll send you. The one I want to send you now is a tubular battery.
Okay.
Let me see what's a tubular.
And the last question for now.
Did you
What
see it?
Okay, let me check.
I send you the one that has tubular. Let me check the one that has.
I didn't see it. I'm not okay. Tubular with the
Yes.
inverter.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Need to check.
Yes. Okay. So tubular is the best.
No, tubular. See the difference. Tubular is rugged, is strong.
Okay.
And it can withstand pressure. But the issue with tubular is that you have to be pouring distilled water, I think every 3 months or so. But from 6 months when you buy the tubular, after 6 months, you will go to that client's house to go and pour distilled water.
Inside the battery?
Yes. If you don't pour distilled water, it will burn. So you have to go to the client's house. Maybe you install for somebody. After 6 months, you go and top it. So you keep going maybe every 3 months to go and make sure you top the still water. And it's strong, it's good, but in a house that have children, because children can go there and open it. Acid is because it's acid, it's dangerous. So that's why we still, before we give somebody tubular, we make sure maybe the person don't have small children around that can go and tamper with it, or maybe the person has a place outside outside the flat, maybe their gates or their bank security house that can put this. If it's going to use tubular, maybe they have a security house so that children will not go there and touch it. But if there is children in that house, we will tell them, please use dry cell. You see the second one I gave you.
Okay.
You don't need to put, no need for water. Yes. It's maintenance free. You don't even need to visit your client. Like this one now, I installed it last year, this time last year. I didn't go there to say, oh God, I want to clean your battery. No, the way it is the way it is, and it's working well. But this other one, you have to go there and go and top water. So imagine the person is in Enugu, you travel, or you tell one technician to call one day, please help me to go to that house and top water. But the battery is strong, you can withstand stress, pressure, because you are refilling, but not like this dry cell. So they have advantage and disadvantage. Then there are different type of, we have the lead acid battery. Both of them are lead acid. This one is dry cell, and this one is wet cell. Then we have the lithium-ion battery. The lithium-ion, they last for 5 years, sometimes 6 years, but they are very, very expensive. Very, because the way they are being manufactured, it requires a lot of chemicals, so they are very expensive. Like this one now, this tubular, the one, that red tubular now is a 200 amp hour tubular battery. This one too is 200 amp hour. Like this first one now, you can see tubular of 120,000. I'm telling you of wholesale price, 120.
Okay.
This one, this other one, some of 120. There is one of this one is 150. The dry one. There's one of 150. There's one of 155. There's one of 130. It depends on where you buy from. So because me, I'm buying wholesale price, where I buy from the wholesale. So it depends on where you buy from. And the inverter too, it still depends on, you don't just say, it's when we do the calculation, I will tell you, okay, if this client have this so appliances, what is the size of the inverter and battery? We will do the calculation and we explain to you. Do you understand? But I want us to take it step by step. You do the audit first. I will tell you, you do audit of your house and send it to me. When you do the audit of your house, they will now, from your audit of your house, we now check, okay, how many batteries, how many panel, how many inverter, what size of inverter do you need? So we'll start from your house. Like what we have discussed so far, you will replicate it, you will do it. You will tell me, okay, my house is a 3-bedroom flat, or is a 1-room. Okay, the number of bulbs is this. The number of, I will send you the table so that you do your own, so you write it. Do you understand?
Okay.
So from your house now, we'll do the calculation. Okay, fam, what size of inverter do I need? Because at times some customer can call you and say, I want to buy solar. You know, okay, what do you get? I have 10 bulbs. Like, okay, is it energy bulbs? There are energy bulbs. At times, maybe you cannot go to the house to do audit. Okay, what else do you have? They will mention all these things. The next thing they just say, how much? How much? You've not even done calculation. They're already asking you, how much? How much? Yes. What is the size? Which how many battery I go buy? How many inverter I go buy? So these are things that with experience you can quickly say, okay, for this number of television and fridge, and this is the size. But normally you tell the customer, wait, let me do my calculation. You take, don't forget the rating of the appliances. At times I tell them, Madam, please, what size of TV do you have? Can you check it for me? If I come to your house to come and take all these reports on myself, you will pay me for coming because it's not free. You saw the way I said someone was doing it for a company for how much? For how much? Can you remember?
2.5, 1.5.
No, 30,000 to come to somebody's house. Okay. 30,000. So now you want somebody is not telling you, because some people will not want to. The company I work for before, they are doing it for 5,000, sometimes 10,000. If you come to your house and do audit, then you now have some people that they will tell you over the phone, I can't install for me, or see what I get to. You just tell them, please give me all these details I need from you. I need the wattage of your house. How many hours do you used to have light? Please don't forget. Anytime somebody wants to install, ask the person, your NEPA light, how many hours? That one is very, very important. If the person said, okay, I used to have 5 hours, I used to have 10, because all those NEPA lights, they are very important to know what kind of battery. All these batteries, they have how many hours it used to last. Like one of these batteries that I sent to you, just one. It can stay, if one of them just power fan, TV, it can just stay like 6 hours. Or it can stay, 6 hours if you are not too consuming, if what you have is not too much. But if the person now tells you, I used to have NEPA like 2 hours, that means, number one, it will not charge the battery enough. Even if you charge the battery, the time you will use it, because since there is no light, you want to on it, you will not on it, you drain it off, then you now call me, engineer, what you sold for me is not working well. Oh, it's not working well. No, it's working well, just that the person who did the audit did not calculate well. So you ask, how many hours of light do you used to have? Very important. Do you have generator? You ask that question. If you have generator, do you have is it a pass my neighbor generator, or is it a big gen? Okay, it's a big gen. Do you have an idea of the size of the gen? So okay, 3.5, 5 point. At times, before these people buy generator, let me tell you the truth, they've done their calculation. Before some people buy generator, this customer, they've called an electrician to come and check the appliances they have in their house before they buy gen. So when they are buying gen, so when we are doing audits, we take note of the size of the generator, because the generator, as long as, because some of them, their generator can carry their fridge, their TV, their pumping machine, if it's a big gen, I don't know if you know some people like that. So those things that they are, and the generator can carry it at the same time. So with all you need to do to make your work easier, madam, what is the size of this gen? If this gen is okay, let's say 5 kVA gen, and you ask her, do you use this gen to power all these things at the same time? And she tells you yes. You, when you are doing your own report, you will know that not do, not less. Your calculation should be around that 5 kVA of that woman's gen. Because as long as a generator can carry this thing, then your calculation should be around that range. Maybe she cannot tell you that this my gen cannot carry fridge and pumping machine at the same time. My gen will suffer. Or fridge and TV at the same time. I just use my gen to power this particular thing. Then you take note of what that gen does, because the information of that generator is important. Unless the client tells you, please, I don't want unless you advise, or either you or tell the client, madam, you see this your fridge. It's not energy efficient fridge at all. When we say energy efficient, is all those NS fridge that they wrote A+. Those energy efficient, they wrote it on it. If you saw this modern fridge now, they wrote A+. Even TV set, they wrote A+. All these are energy efficient. Because all these things drain. Because if you see where even TV, all this old TV can drain a battery. Battery that's supposed to stay 5 hours will now be staying 3 hours because the woman is using one old free TV, or a ceiling fan is all this old ceiling fan. Then because if you don't rate all these things, well, if you don't advise your clients, the same client that is begging you to come and install will be the same client that will insult you and start telling everybody that, hey, what she sold for me does not last. Oh, it does not last. That's one of the challenges in solar. So when you are doing your audit, make sure you ask thorough questions. Ask. Because once you've calculated, you've installed, if the thing have issue or it did not last when it's supposed to last, the person that you think is your church member or your friend will not start insulting you. Will not start telling you, I thought you said the thing is going to carry my fridge. Now I did not carry my fridge. So you make it known from the beginning. Oga, this is your fridge. It's not energy efficient too. I don't think I will put this fridge in this inverter and battery. Because it just imagine putting this battery, they are like power bank, big power bank. They are not putting your fridge that, some fridge, all those fridge that use stabilizer, you heat alone, you hear on battery. The battery that is supposed to stay 2 years will now be staying 1 year. They will now be staying 7 months because one energy auditor did not do his calculation very well. And the clients too did not know how to use battery. You just put, I get solar now, I get inverter, let me just plug. The battery must start adding issue. And all these batteries, they have warranty. This big battery, this 200 amp hour, they come with 1 year warranty. If it is 100 ampere, they have 6 months warranty. Inverter has 1 year warranty. Solar panels have 25 years warranty. But it's hard for people to return solar panel. The issue is always battery and inverter. So before you tell customer that, okay, see what, madam, you're waiting, you want power, you have to be sure. Even as of today, if I tell my supplier that one of my clients want to power free, just say, please. If the person cannot tell you the rating, there's no point. Because when these people have problem, they will forget that they are smiling with you. That's true. They will forget that they are smiling with you when you are installing it. And you too, you'll be saying, you have made money now. When they start facing you, say, what you installed for me, it did not work. Or my battery is just running down. Because you did not do your calculation well. So in that energy audit, don't take it for granted. Take your time and look at it. Let me still go back to the outline. I don't want to miss anything.
Well, how much is the cost of lithium battery?
Lithium battery, the one a company sent to me, I think one is 250,000. There's one of 180,000. There's short from, let's just say to get it from 200,000 and above for one. There's one of 450,000. So it depends on the brand as well. So he said, how do you cost your solar equipment and charge your clients? So for me, it still depends. Everybody has his own costing and where you buy from. Let's say, for example, you want to install a 2 kVA inverter and battery. Like the picture I sent to you. Let's just look at that picture that I sent to you, where you have that luminous inverter and that two tubular batteries. Yeah. The cost price of that tubular is 120, some is 110, some is 130. And you want to sell, it depends on, if you want to sell it 125, it's up to you. If you want to put 10,000 naira on top, it depends on how you want to sell your own. There is no fixed price that this is the rate that they are selling it. But it's just that you have to be considerate at times. You can put 10,000 on one battery. You can put 5,000. You can put 7,000. Then when you put those ones, then you will look at, I will send you a quote, one invoice to see the way I do it. Then the inverter, let's say you buy an inverter of 75,000. If you want to sell it 85,000 or 90,000, and your clients do not complain, it's up to you. No company, no engineer will tell you, this is the amount they are doing it. It doesn't concern anybody. It's up to you. Some people make a lot of money. Some people make small money. It depends on your negotiation power and the way you package yourself. Do you understand? Then, when we charge for all this battery panel, in case you are using panel, the accessories is where the issue has always been, because the accessory now is those people that want to install. Some of them will tell you, I will buy the accessories by myself, don't buy for me. Some will tell you, because the accessory, what is in the accessories is the cable, the cable that we use to connect the panel and the inverter to your house. So in that accessories, it's good to work with a technician, that's an engineer that install. That one I will not tell you, okay, since you say you want to install inverter and battery, this is the number of wire you buy. He will tell you, advise you, because he's the one that wants to install it. You can say, okay, give me money, let me buy for you. Or I will write for you what you will buy for me and buy it. And there are different types of cable. There are 16 mm, 10 mm. So you can either you go with your engineer, two of you will buy it, or he give you list of what he wants to buy, and you go and buy it, or you give him money to go and buy it. Do you understand? So in that case now, before you now charge your client, say, okay, this is the amount you cost, you can call your technician like, okay, roughly how much do you think I can spend on this job? But for me, on a normal day, if I'm to spend, let's say for inverter and battery, from my experience, if I want to say, okay, I want to buy the cable, those things, I won't spend up to, let's say, I won't spend up to 13,000 or 14,000 to buy. No, I won't spend up to, let's say, if it is just, you see that inverter and battery I sent to you.
Yes.
I want to buy accessories now because it's inside the house. The wire will not be too much. But if it is outside the house, let's say in the security post, then we need to draw the wire. That means I'm going to buy a longer cable to take it to inside. So it's during your energy audit, before you can know at times the length of wire to buy or cable. You will ask the client, where do you want us to put this battery and inverter? Do you have space? Some can say, okay, under the staircase. Some can say, okay, put it at this side of my house. So it's from there you now know, okay, the length of wire to buy. Do you understand?
Yes.
So in that case now, accessories is on, we can't really gauge that accessories, but on a rough estimate, you can buy all these things and have them in bulk. All the technician used to use just to take from there, you keep the remaining one. You need one changeover. You need trunking. You need just some few, the technician know what he will buy.
Okay.
Then for installation, if it is just inverter and battery, like the way they do installation here in Lagos, if it's just inverter and battery, 15,000. Some technician will collect 20. Some will collect 10, depending on your bargaining power with your technician. But you see, with your client, because you are the one determining the price for your client, not your technician. Then for your client, you cannot charge your client, okay, my installation is 30,000 or 50,000. Do you see where the money is coming from now? Hello?
Yes. I can hear you.
So it's not you, it's not your technician that we agree price with client, it's you. So you now say, okay, I charge my client for installation and logistics. Don't forget to logistics will be there because you must put the cost of transportation. It's not you that is paying for transport, it's the client. You will put it there. Installation and logistics, maybe for example, 70,000. You use 20,000 to bring the things. Your own installation is 50,000. So all of them will be in your quotation. So once they pay you, it can pay you, some can pay you 100% once. Some can pay you 80%. Some can pay you 50%. And say, okay, install, when you are done, I will balance you. All you need to do is just to go and source for the battery, the inverter, and get your technician, bring it, they install it with, is one day they use for installation, short 2 hours, between 2 to 3 hours. If it is just inverter and battery, you have finished installation. It's only solar panel that takes like 2 days, because before you now arrange the panel on the roof. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, very well.
So the next thing is how and where to buy reliable solar system. Since you say you're in Kogi State, I can, unless you check around, maybe your major market there, to check, where are they selling this solar, find reliable person. But in Lagos, all these states, they come and buy from Lagos. It's Lagos they buy from. Like the one I installed in Delta, it's Lagos I bought it from, and I ship it down to Delta. But I paid, sure, it's not me that paid for the logistic. I put the money of the logistic inside the quotation.
Okay.
So, and they have pricing to way be them. So either you come to Lagos and buy enough and go back, or you look for solar shops around you and buy from them. You talk to them, you negotiate. You look at them, tell them, Oga, I want quality products. At times, you can ask me. You can check the products in the market and ask me and say, okay, do you think this product is good? I can tell you, buy it. You don't buy it. But all these products must come with warranty, 1 year warranty. And you need to ask, you have to be close to your supplier. Like, Oga, I want to install this thing. Your supplier have experience, so they still talk. They have an idea of which product is good, which one is, because there are some that they are substandard because of it's cheap, but let's just buy. And some that are still cheap, but they are strong. So you just need to, it's just that with time, you will get to know which and which is okay. Do you understand? So factors.
If I'm to get it in Lagos, because I would love to get it in Lagos, not here.
Okay, if you get it in Lagos, The
Yes,
only,
where to get it.
yes, in Lagos now, we buy majorly from two major places we buy in Lagos: Oshodi,
Okay.
Arena, and Alaba
Okay.
Markets, and Oshodi Arena. Because most of these companies, these solar companies, these Chinese, they are here in Lagos. So they partner with all those Igbo guys in Alaba and Arena. So we buy from all these Igbo guys there in the market in Arena. Arena is Oshodi or Alaba. That's
Okay.
where we
So
buy from.
where exactly in Alaba?
I can't say exactly of Arena.
Oh,
I mean Alaba. I
Alaba.
I
Oh,
buy because
oh,
Alaba, they are okay, but they is for you to locate the ones that are genuine. That's the truth. If
okay.
you have a reliable supplier, because they are fake in the market, but just that is for you to discover reliable supplier that anything I buy from this person doesn't have problem. That's the market. When it comes to electronics, in this Alaba or Osh Arena or Ikeja, as long as you can locate a trusted supplier that delivers only quality, sure, to electronic business you sell. So is the major thing is your supplier. Where is your supplier getting all these goods from? So if you can locate a good supplier, you don't have problem with electronics, with all these products.
Okay.
So the factors to consider before, during, and after solar system installation. So all these factors, we've mentioned some. I will still share this material. I will share that one. The factors to consider, what you need to look out for. Is the place secure? Because there is one person, like person I installed for last week. Actually, he wanted solar, but he was not like, my place is not secure. All this, that place was outskirts of Lagos. It was not even Lagos. He said, because all these Ogun State boys, they will just come and remove my panel. And they will remove my
On the roof.
panel. Yes, so he said, before I come, they will remove my panel. And not just that, they will know that I have battery and inverter inside my house. So they will break my door. Once you have solar panel on the roof, automatically you have battery and inverter inside your house. Even when we are installing in all these Niger Delta states, we had to build cage for this battery and inverter because we're installing in plazas. So we had to we had to spend another money, I think 80,000 for a cage, to build cage to lock this battery and inverter because of thieves. So these are the factors you need to consider. Does this client have space that will be enough to house this equipment? And is the place well ventilated? Not that they say I have space, then the place is so hot. The client I installed for last week, that one was even inside his kitchen because the guy is staying in one room. So it was inside his kitchen, and I told him, you see this your kitchen door, please don't close it at all. Leave it open so that this battery will not swell. Battery cannot withstand heat and dust. So many things to consider. Hope there won't be water. Nobody should pour water. Hope the place is dry, it's ventilated. So you consider. Then you also consider the roof. Somebody will say, I want solar panel on my roof, and the roof is an old roof, zinc, all these ancient zinc. The person wants solar panel. By the time the engineer climb on the roof will fall. Or they put the panel there will be hole in the roof. And when rain comes, the place will start leaking. That's when they now remember, is that engineer that install solar panel for me that cause all these things? So the person will forget that the roof has been there since they built the house. So before you tell the person solar, I want to get it, you will say, God, this is your roof. How long has this roof? Or some say, do you want to change this roof soon? Because Some persons, they may have plan B of changing their roof. Maybe you want to install for one tenant, and the landlord already has the plan that, okay, oh, next year I want to change the roof of my house, and you are going to install this year. That means next year they will call you to come and remove the panel. So you see, you have to ask them questions. Then you still check the type of roof. If it is all this zinc roof, all this zinc that used to produce heat, my brother, they are not good for panels, because the heat will be, even if, yes, we know solar panel needs radiation from the sun, but the heat of that zinc, it would be too much for the panel. I think it can burn the panel. Panel can catch fire.
Okay.
Panels can catch fire if the heat is just from the zinc is too much. So you consider, is this zinc and aluminum zinc? Is it all this modern zinc? Then also, before you still put solar panel, you know there are some building that their houses, they do one particular shape, different shape. You ask, how many solar panel can stay here? And if there is shading, let's say in that compound now, there is a tree by the side, and there's one part of the house that there used to be shade. It's not advisable for solar panel, because the sun is not touching. If there is a shading on the solar panel, that means one side of the panel will be charged, the other side of the panel will not be receiving current, and it can make the thing to stop working. It can make the panel to become malfunctioning, because it's all the cells that are supposed to be charging at the same time. But if there is shading because of trees, or there's a bigger building by the side of that building that is causing shade to that house, maybe there's an upstairs beside a bungalow, and the upstairs is causing a shade to the bungalow, solar panel cannot be there unless they take it to another angle. Do you understand? So these are what you still consider before you give solar panels.
Okay.
Yeah. Then another thing again to consider during installation, I will send that one to you. As your installer is installing, you have to be on ground. You have to be communicating with the customer to make sure, because when they are doing installation, it's not all the load in the house they will power. There's what they call load shedding. Load shedding. Let's say, for example, you have 2 rooms and 2 room flat, 2-bedroom flat. They have, let's say they have like 10 sockets. It's not all the sockets that will be on inverter, because we are not encouraging anybody to put pressing iron on inverter. So there will be some sockets in the house that they will connect to the inverter, while some sockets will be the way it is when NEPA light comes in, you use it. So when they want to do connection of battery and inverter, the technician must do what they call load shedding, because it's not all the appliances. Let's say, for example, now the client has freezer, AC, fan, TV, light bulbs, and it just just power only my light bulbs, fan, and TV. That will be the only thing that will be on the inverter. So there is a place in that distribution board that controls the socket of where the TV is, that controls the socket of where the AC is. So is that one that the technician will tap and say, okay, this one that controls the socket for this room, socket for that room, socket for this one, he will tap them and take to the inverter. While the other ones will be left. When NEPA bring light, it will work. If NEPA is off, it cannot. If NEPA is off, you know you are on inverter. Do you understand? So that one is the load shedding. And it's you, based on you that did the energy audit, that the client say, okay, this is what will be power. You will now tell your technician that, okay, in all the appliances in this house, these are what my client said he wants. So the technician must make sure he does that. So then after installation, we now start doing test running. We test it. We used to advise, let there be lights when you are testing it. You switch off the NEPA light to see if the inverter will pick up. You will switch it on back to see if the battery is charging. Like, you have to test run, check the battery, if the technician tighten it very well. You check the connection, if it is neat. So these are what you still check, because at the end of the day, it's you, the client, who are responsible, not your technician. Do you understand?
Question, please.
Okay.
Yeah, you talked about load sharing.
Load shedding.
That's
or load sharing,
okay,
or load shedding. Either you say load
okay,
sharing or load shedding. Anyway.
Okay, load shedding. Okay, now if the light is on inverter, some certain socket in the apartment won't be in use,
Yes, will not
there will be no current there.
Yes.
Yes.
Then you
So,
can even differentiate it. You can put a sticker or note
okay.
it inverter
Okay.
light. It's just to explain to the client. You can put something to note it that this socket is on inverter. Nobody should go there and plug iron.
Iron. Okay.
So you can
Okay,
note
now
it on the inverter that inverter.
Okay. So what if there is power supply, NEPA lights now? Would that inverter socket works?
Yes,
Or
it
it's
will
just
still.
mainly for okay,
No.
it will still work.
Yes, because when the NEPA light comes in, the NEPA light now will be charging the battery through the inverter at the same time be working as normal NEPA lights in the house. But it's only those, the ones that are connected to inverter, will be working on the inverter. While the ones that are not connected to the inverter will be working normally as NEPA light. So when light goes off, automatically your inverter is picked off. It's on.
Oh, okay. So okay now. So what if my my TV socket is being connected to the inverter? That means when there is NEPA light, I can't use my TV now because of the socket being connected to the inverter.
I didn't get what you said.
Okay, I said if my television socket is being connected to the inverter. Now, when there is power supply, as in NEPA, that means my TV socket won't be working now because it's being connected to the inverter.
It will work.
That's
to work.
Okay, it will work.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the inverter, it works as both AC, DC.
Okay.
The inverter, let you put it, is an AC. So it will pass the AC coming from NEPA. Inverter has AC, it works as AC, it works as DC. So AC, if it is inverter to battery, the inverter will work as rectifier and convert that NEPA light that is coming in an AC to DC to charge battery. But if it is inverter to the load, the inverter will move the NEPA light straight to the load as AC.
All right.
So another one is, how do you join the renewable energy? Okay, overcoming challenges in solar energy business. There are a lot of challenges. A lot. Short, a lot. I will not tell you that they are not a lot. They are lots. But you are, unless you are ready to pay the price, they are a lot. I started 2 years ago. I ran away. I was working in solar company before, but when I started as a business, when I saw challenges, I ran away. I said, I'm not doing again. But when I look, I said, this is what I can do. This is my work. This is what I've learned. I've worked with it. This is where I have my strength. Because of challenge, I will now run. I have to come back, gather myself. There are challenges. In short, normally in every business there's challenge, but in solar there's challenge because number one, there's a discrimination already in the place that solar no dey work, solar no good, because of the first set of solar that came in, rumors, people paid, people did not get the value for their money. So you have to talk to people. Madam, solar is good. It's too expensive. It cannot carry my AC. It cannot carry my my iron. What will I now use solar to do? That's when you now start. You have to study more. You have to now educate them. You will use it to power your light, your fan. And so we tell you, sure, solar is a luxury. I don't need solar. My generator will solve it. You will educate them. Madam, you know how much you spend on fuel every day? The noise from the fuel generator, the fumes from the generator. If you look at those things, and the climate change too, they will tell you, I'm begging, not only me. So it's only those that are enlightened. Or there are some enlightened clients that they already know the worth of having a solar. Now they will say, oh, yes, I'm interested to install. Then when you cross that stage of you see somebody that is ready to buy, the next thing is, how do I get quality products? You now have to deal with clients. What if this client did not give you a good product? That's another fear. If, okay, finally you brought it, how will I transport this thing? These things are heavy equipment. The battery alone is heavy. How will I do it? You have the logistics tell you, na battery, na big money, panel. When I was shipping to Delta, I almost hired a full bus. I bought 8 seats to carry 16 panels, 8 batteries, 1 big inverter. I bought 8 seats, and that was almost like 80K. Wow. And they were like, you shouldn't have used all this transport line. There's a special line in Malaba that can carry all these big luxurious. But my fear was like, if those people did not pack this thing well, and one panel have one scratch, because if one panel has scratch, that one full panel is gone, and just one panel is 70K. So we now risk 70K because I'm looking for cheap transport. So you still look at those ones. So you still look at those ones like, no, I want safety for this my panel. I don't care. I will pay. So when you've gotten that, you're on site. This technician deliver my work, install it well, and your customer will be asking you questions. Hope you are sure it's going to do. Yes, ma'am, it's going to do it well. And what if this technician did not deliver? How good is this technician? Because the one I did in that, the technician disappointed me, and they charged me more. I had to call another technician to refix the problem. Another technician had to go back there and redo the installation after spending more. So these are the things that we find that even after that, your client will still call you. The battery is not, I'm hearing one sound. Maybe the client now, if the client is ignorant, it's another problem. If the client is ignorant of how to, so you still have to educate your client. Sir, these are the rules. Don't plug this iron. Don't do this one. Don't do that. If you want this battery to work well, don't do this, don't do that. So you still need to educate your client, because if the client did not use it well, he will put the blame on you. You did not buy good ones for me. Sure, you did not calculate it very well. You did not. So you have to educate the client. Please, ma, don't plug fridge in the night. It will drain the battery. If because I put fridge for you, let the fridge only be plugged in the afternoon when there is sunlight. And when it's raining season, maybe you install solar system and it's raining season, the battery won't charge properly like that compared to dry season because rain is falling. You see, and that's when some clients do not understand the way it works. They will not still be draining it the way they are draining it during dry season. It does not work that way. During dry season, there is a way they use system. During rainy season, you have to pet the battery. You have to make sure you don't overuse because the sun is not coming enough from the panel. Unless maybe you now have light, you cannot, because once you have solar panel, let me tell you some other secret. If you have solar panel, that does not stop you. When you have light, you charge your battery. That's when you have changeover. When there is solar, maybe you have solar panel on your roof. When there is light, you can change over to NEPA light to charge the battery. The voltage coming from NEPA is stable. 220 is 220, 220, 225, 230. But the voltage coming from solar panel, my brother, is not stable. There is what they call the peak hour. Peak hour is from, let's say, between 11, 12 to 5 to 4, when the sun is stable. You know, the time sun has come out and the sun is stable. Yes, those are when your solar panel works well. But in the early morning or late in the evening, the voltage is not constant. So when there is NEPA light, change over to NEPA, let NEPA charge it well. There's a way the technician will do the bypass, it will change. When NEPA comes, it can be charging. So when NEPA is off, solar panel will continue charging till the battery is full. So these are things that you still need to understand, the technology aspect. But to me, the more you do it, the more you understand the business. The more you do it, the more, because there's no one challenge. Challenge comes in different ways. The more you do it, the more you understand it. Then another challenge is the client challenge. Some clients are just too allish. They'll just want, because of they don't know it, or they will say, no, it's you should have cost it. Did not. So some clients, so you still need to understand people. But I will tell you the truth. There's money in solar. There is money in it. If you can get clients, there's money in solar. People who want to buy, and people are still scared because they don't want to involve money. And at the end, and I find out that they are fake products. That's why some people are scared. Some people that are willing to pay for it, but they are scared. Do you understand? So there is money, there's opportunity. Then for you to join the renewable energy, you're already in civil engineering, and doing a solar energy business does not necessarily mean you have to be an electrical student or you have to study renewable energy before you can join renewable energy or business or to join association. We have what they call Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria, REAN.
Awesome.
Maybe I will send you, please remind me, I should send you the website. You can go there, you can register to be a member. It's an association. So that's for Nigeria. They pay yearly. So there they share opportunities. If you want to make this as a big time business for you, you have to register this business. As a limited liability or as a business name, you register the business. You have your social media, you start marketing, you start talking about solar, you start looking for customer, you register. There are opportunities for renewable energy in terms of grants and loan, which you can access. But even if it doesn't come that easy, but you just need to put yourself out there. You don't necessarily need to be an electrical student. Anybody can come up from anywhere to be a solar businessman or woman. As long as you know the basic, you have the foundation. All these things I've explained to you, these are the things you need to know. and you have this entrepreneurial spirit that you can, yes, you can give it a try. You can start. The president of Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria is not an engineer, he's a banker. He's a banker. He has been training us for some time now, because I'm doing a particular program, and he's the man that is training us. He's not an engineer, but he's making big money in solar, and he's winning grants. And he's not an engineer. He too went to go and meet somebody, like the way you came to meet me. That I thought somebody taught him, like the way I'm teaching you. For 1 year, he was going there. Big man will leave bank and go and learn work. Go and learn the way the business is. Before it, you now say, okay, let me register my company and start. But today he's making money. We are still learning on the field, but you just need to put yourself out there, try it, experiment it, do the energy audit for your house, you do the calculation, then you talk to one person, talk to two persons. Then there are still other solar, small solar equipment you can still buy and sell. The solar lamp, solar fan, you can still buy and sell all those ones. People still ask, small rechargeable solar lamp. There are some people maybe in remote areas that those that can't afford that big, because these things are quite expensive. So there's some people that just say, I just want to do light and fan or light and radio. So that's how these small solar lamps comes in, or small solar fan. So you can start from anywhere, and you can run your business. You can start with 0 naira in this solar business. You can start with 0 naira, because you are not using your money to buy anything. What you need is your mouth, and you know the road to go and buy. Somebody, you give the person quote, the person is to pay the money to your account, carry the money, go and buy for the person, call engineer, make sure you do all the things you have learned, put them in place. You started business with 0 naira. Okay. 0 naira. You don't need, I've told you, you don't need to be the one to install. Just call engineer, how much you go collect. You charge for example, you charge your customer 40,000 for installation, or 50,000 or 70,000. Engineer, you give him 15,000 based on your negotiation power with your technician. You negotiate, you have gotten profits without you installing. All you need to go and do, you look for customer, you have good reliable supplier. It's just like it's a network of things. You are the middleman, get customer, you work with technician, work with supplier, make sure you act as the customer service, you act as the maintenance man, because after installation, you will still go and check if is this thing properly okay. If it's not okay, technician come and check this place, or your customer complain because technician check this place. So your own is you are just managing people, but you are making money. Do you understand?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So I think I've covered for the business aspect or so, like just remaining the system design and the practicals. So we'll start with your house. First, I want you to do a rough estimate of all the appliances in your house. You check the wattage you count the number of bulbs, you check the appliances in your house, then let me see if I can share my screen. You do the calculation, then you send it to me. Then from there, you'll be able to continue from there. Do you understand?
Okay.
So you start from your house, then you do calculation. So from your, my battery is full. So from your house, that's where we'll now start running on the day. You start go to your neighbor's house, like that. Before you know, you are strong. Because the more you talk to people, you go to people's house, that's when you know you're already ahead, you're already good to go.